So hey guys, as you may or may not know, within the past few weeks a few things have happened. I've graduated and I turned 18. Needless to say. I've come into a lot of money recently. Currently I have about $300 to my name, and within the last few weeks I've bought over like 20 movies within the last few weeks. And there's more coming in the mail, and I bought more today. It's insanity. So I figured I'd just go through everything, starting with the stuff I got today. I went to this small franchise of game stores, and they also sell like movies and stuff. I figured I'd find some really weird, interesting stuff in there, and I definitely found some stuff, some gems, definitely. Starting off, I found Weird Al Yankovic's UHF, which is one of the funniest movies ever made. If you're like a big fan of like really absurd kind of, I want to say kind of airplane style humor, this is definitely up your alley. And there's so many like movie references and stuff in it. It just never gets old for me, honestly. Now we go on from, something funny to something a bit more serious. Most of these I haven't watched yet, so I don't know if they work. I'm pretty sure they do because I had them cleaned in the store. So I got like Takashi Miike's like first movie, Shinjuku Triad Society, which is like one of his first movies, and it's like about the Yakuza and stuff, and it's part of his Black Society trilogy. Yeah, I just saw it and I'm like, that sounds familiar, and I pulled it out and I, saw it said Takashi Miike on the front, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is Takashi Miike, but yeah, I got this for like $2, and I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know much about it. Next we have a trauma movie I got. This one's a little interesting because this is one of like the films from Trauma that's widely considered to be like one of the best films from Trauma, and people are surprised going into like this movie. They're surprised that this film is so serious. This film is like inspired by German expressionist films. So it's basically inspired by like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and stuff like that, like silent horror films from the early 20s. And it's like, apparently it's just a very serious film. It's very well acted. It's called Screenplay. Now I've gone into this like video game and movie store for I've been going in there for the past like few years, and about a year ago I saw this movie in there and I didn't buy it. I just decided not to buy it because I didn't know anything about it, and I was a bit scarce on money at the time. And I come back today and it's still there, so I think that's fate telling me I needed to pick this one up. Yeah. Next we have a less serious film, Leeches. They'll bleed you dry. This is like a movie about giant leeches. What else is there to say? Last time I checked on IMDb, I think this movie has like a 1 or maybe 2 out of 10 average rating on IMDb. And apparently this is like the special edition of the movie, and whoever put this slipcover in put it in upside down, because you look at it like this and then you open it and it's backwards. So yeah, whoever put this slipcover on really dropped the ball. Now I'm gonna fix it. Damn it. There we go. But yeah, it's Leeches, and it's from Asylum, who released Sharknado and all those other really terrible movies. Next I got Decoys: The Second Seduction, which I've never seen either of the Decoys movies, but a few days ago I went into a different like video game slash movie store, and I came across the first Decoys for like $1, and I figured I'd pick it up, and I came across this today, and I'm like, you know what, I may as well have them both, even if they both end up sucking. Don't really know much about these movies other than that they involve like aliens that look like humans, and like it's like sex crazed alien hotties. That's what it says on the back. And this is the second one, which I spent like $2 on. Next is a really weird one. Like I just grabbed this one because I saw on the side it's from Wizard Video, which is like a subsection of Full Moon Entertainment, who released the Puppet Master movies. And this one's called Decadent Evil, and I guess it's about demons, like little demons, like the ghoulies or something. A nasty, horny homunculus, part human, part reptile. And this movie's like from 2005, and the cool thing about this is it's one of those like kind of blockbuster, like old, like rental place cases, and it's got like stickers in it and on the back and stuff for like an old rental place, and I'm not gonna take those off because that's a part of history. And finally, to balance out all the shit I bought today, I bought Stephen King's It, which I didn't own yet. Which well, it's not a movie; it's a TV series. But this mini series is absolutely fucking horrifying, and yeah, I don't want to watch it at night, so I'm not going to be watching this tonight. Maybe tomorrow morning. Oh, it says audio commentary. I'm definitely watching that. Now we get on to just random scattered stuff I've bought within the last few weeks. Let me just plug in this camera. There we go. Starting off is probably the biggest thing I bought. Well, the biggest thing for me personally. It's this Alien 35th anniversary Blu-ray, which I hadn't watched Alien in like literally probably 10 years. And I rewatched it and I'm like, this is better than I remember it being. And it comes with like a little mini comic book in it, adaptation of the movie, as well as like postcard sized prints of like H.R. Geiger's artwork. And for those of you who don't know, H.R. Geiger actually died last month, which I didn't know that. So it's actually really sad to hear that, because he created the original Xenomorph. Next we have one of the entries in the Alien series, the one that probably gets the most hate, even though Alien Resurrection should get the most hate because it's far worse than this one. Prometheus. I'm not going to talk about this one long. I paid $4 for it. I think it's underrated. I know it has flaws, and I see the flaws, and I can understand why people don't like it, but to call it one of the worst movies ever made, as I've heard a lot of people call it, is just very unfair, honestly. But yeah, I like Prometheus. Sue me. This is one I reviewed like a week ago. The Drownsman. Ooh, spooky. But in all seriousness, this is the one that's getting some pretty bad reviews right now, and I honestly thought it was a pretty cool movie. Although in the back it's like a refreshing throwback to 80s slasher flicks with modern flair. I can see the modern flair, and I can kind of see the 80s slasher side of things, but with this cover, like this cover that it has, it just looks like it'd be a super cheesy movie, when in actuality it's a pretty, like, all-around serious movie tone-wise. Let's get the next 3 off this pile. The same day I bought The Drownsman, I bought this Halloween collection, which has H2O, Halloween Resurrection, and The Curse of Michael Myers. So now the only movie out of the series, other than the remake of it that I'm missing, is Part 5. And why did I buy this? Well, it was $5, and it has Halloween H2O on it, which is probably one of my favorite entries in the series. So yeah. Next we have one, again, this one I don't think is that good, although upon rewatching it, I will say I can understand why it has such a why it's considered to be such an important film. I just don't think it's that great, and I don't think I'll be watching it that much, but I got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, for $1, which this is like an old special edition of it from like 2003, but I'm not going to complain because it's the format of it still fits like a modern widescreen TV, so it still works for me. This is another blind buy I got. It's released by Alpha Video, who put out the Corpse Grinders and the Worm Eaters, which are two movies that are absolutely terrible, but I love them. And it's Atom Age Vampire, which this has nothing to do with vampires specifically. It's just about a guy. It's one of those like films that's like against bomb testing, and it's like a guy becomes deformed, and that's like really it. It's kind of like Eyes Without a Face, I guess. Like this chick loses her face, and then the guy becomes like a atomic vampire thing. And the thing is, on the back, like the pictures on the back are in color, but this film is only in black and white. And as far as I know, it's only ever been in black and white, and yet there's color pictures from the movie on the back. So that's very misleading, and the cover is completely in color, and it looks really bad, and believe me, it's not worth watching. Grab the next few off the pile. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. I don't think I need to say anything about this because I'm sure most horror fans have already gotten around to watching this one, so I'll keep it short. It's easily one of the best horror comedies of the last few years, and if you haven't seen this one yet, I definitely suggest you check it out if you're a fan of horror comedies. It's really, really good. This one I got in my horror block this month, the Short Film Festival collection, which I still haven't watched, but I'll get around to watching it eventually, and I might review it, but as for now, not really that big of a deal. I swear, sometimes I think I'm losing my mind. The Basement, which this is that 5-movie set that Cannibal Campout and the first two video violence movies, as well as Captives and the lost film The Basement, came out on. It came in this big ass box. Okay, there we go. It came in this big ass box, which has the VHS tape in it. Finally, we got onto the first Decoys, which again, still haven't watched this. I might watch this sometime, but I doubt I will ever get around to it, even though I've been like looking into this film for years and seeing it. It's one of those films I'd always seen in like video stores and stuff like that. Okay, let's get on to the last little stack here. These two things I bought a few days ago. These two top things, at least. This 4-movie set that has Cabin Fever, the 2 Cabin Fever movies, and the 2 Descent movies, and yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It's The Descent, which is good, and Cabin Fever, which is amazing, which is also really good, and the sequel to Cabin Fever, which is subpar, but I still kind of like it, and the sequel to The Descent, which I still haven't watched. This is probably my favorite thing I've bought within the past few days. It's a Clint Eastwood DVD collection, which I saw. I was looking around, and I kept seeing like Clint Eastwood movie collections, and none of them had like any of his more popular movies. None of them had any of his westerns on it, and this one exclusively has his westerns. More specifically, the Man with No Name trilogy, as well as Hang 'Em High, which I don't know about that one, but the first 3 are spaghetti westerns, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is amazing. I watched A Fistful of Dollars a few days ago, and that was also really good. For a few dollars more, I think I'm going to watch sometime, eventually. Now we're down to our last 3. Yeah, I'm a bit contradictive here, but I also got The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This is before I bought the set, and I bought this at a flea market because it was like 2 movies for $5, so I decided to also get Mulholland Drive from David Lynch, which still haven't watched this one all the way through, but I know it's like really trippy and stuff, but I don't know. I'm gonna get around to watching this one, but I just grabbed this because I was like, ooh, a great film, and then a film I've heard is really great. For $5. I know Mulholland Drive. I know that Mulholland Drive works. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I don't know works, but I decided to buy that set anyway, so I could still have a copy that works and have the other movies in the trilogy. And last but most certainly not least, this is Spinal Tap on Blu-ray. I've wanted to watch This is Spinal Tap for a very long time. When they put it on Netflix finally, I watched it like a week after they put, I think it might have been a week after they put it back on, or it may have been a few months after they put it back on. I don't know when, but it was like 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, as of like June the 3rd. And it's a really good like rock and roll mockumentary. If you're really into like rock music and metal music, this is a really good one to check out, because there are a lot of jokes in here that, like, there's a lot of humor in this movie that people will get, that people that don't listen to rock music will get, but there's even more jokes in this movie that people that, headbangers will get. Yeah, it's really good. That's really it, other than the few VHS tapes I've bought recently, which I bought 10 of them for like $2, and like 2 of them in particular, one goes for like $60 online, sealed, and both of these are sealed actually. One goes for one goes for like up to $50 opened online, and the other goes up to like $30 opened, and they're both sealed. Yeah. But that's it for this like DVD Blu-ray kind of update video. I'll be back in a few days because I've got some stuff coming in the mail that I've ordered off Amazon. So, peace.